Halacha Yomi, page 358. Yeah, Rafael, we did already the 129th class of Halacha Yomi. Can you believe this? Okay. We're up to Halacha 56, to page 358. If a Jew turned on the light on Shabbat, even by accident, it is proper to be stringent not to benefit from the light turned on. However, if a non-religious Jew turned on the light for his own purpose in that area, even though one may not benefit from the light, one is not obligated to leave the room. If a non-religious Jew turned on the light in a place like a stairwell, where it's generally so dark that you wouldn't be able to walk, you have to walk very carefully, one may still be able to use the stairwell, even though you can't see on his way, but one should not walk quickly. That way you don't feel the benefit of the light. You will still go just as slow as you would in the dark. But you see that when a Jew turns on the light, we would try not to benefit from that light that he turned on, because the sages made a fine against those who did Chilul Shabbat. Okay. Let's say 58. One who knows that exiting a room, it will cause the light to turn off. Preferably, you should call a non-Jew to enter the room. That way, you can leave, right? Or sometimes you have these houses, the light goes on when you pass by it.
Right.
So, are you allowed to walk away? You walk by the house, light turned on. Oh, I didn't know. Now you want to walk away, light's gonna go off. How can you leave? So, preferably, what should you do? You should ask a goy. Hey, goy, come. You stay here. I'll leave. That way, it's not me who's making you off. But if you can't, if there's no other choice, one is not obligated to remain there for the remainder of Shabbat. Imagine you have to remain there the remainder of the Shabbat. No, halachically you have what to rely on to walk away. It says I'm not pressing anything, it's my walking that's causing it, so what to rely on? You have what to rely on. Some opinions say it's not considered you did melacha when you walked away. Okay, let's say somebody left the light on in your room, Rafal. Somebody left on the light in your room. You can't sleep, you're going to go crazy now. And my kids, I can't sleep in my kid's bed. This is my only bed. I have to sleep here. How am I going to sleep? So what happens? Your uncle or somebody, your relatives in your house, says, don't worry about it. I turn it off. He turned it off. Hey, what did you do? You're not allowed to do that. It's Chilul Shabbat. Okay, he already did it. Can I now sleep in my room because I'm benefiting from Shabbat desecration? No? 60. 59. If one who turned off a light on Shabbat, even on purpose, may sleep in that room, even though he would not have been able to sleep in that room before. Allowed to sleep in that room, even though, what's the reason? The reason is because he didn't create the darkness. Darkness was already there naturally. He got rid of the light, so it's not really considered that he created the darkness through his malacha. He got rid of the light that was there before bothering. Okay. 62. Let's say there's non-religious Jews who are driving on Shabbat. One may cross the street at a crosswalk on Shabbat, even though it might cause a Jewish non-religious driver to stop in order to let you cross. Right? Let's say you walk in a street where there's no stop sign. You know, when you walk in the street and cars are coming, if they see people, they slow down. And what if you're making a Jew who's not religious slow down? You're causing him to do more chilul. When he slows down for you, you're allowed. You're allowed to continue to walk on the crosswalk, even though he's making him stop. Preferably, it's better to avoid and go when there's no cars coming, but technically, you're allowed to walk on the crosswalk. What happens, it happened to me before also. What happens is, on Shabbat, the guy rolls down his window. Excuse me, sir. Shabbat Shalom. How are you? Shabbat Shalom. How do I get to the temple? Do you know how to get to the synagogue? Where's the directions? You know, I'm looking for, he takes out his phone. I'm looking for Beth Gavriel. Where is Beth Gavriel? Right? So what do? Do you tell him directions? Tell him, go, oh, you're not so far away. Go down, make a left, make a right. You're helping him do a Chilul Shabbat. What do you do? When if you tell him, go jump in a lake, what is he going to learn from this? That religious people are jerks, right? Good, I'm not religious. Look at them, look how they behave. 63. If a non-religious Jew stops and asks for directions, one should not answer him, even though the person may end up having to drive around more in order to ask others how to get his destination. Where Shlomo Zar Arbach says, you could say the following: even though it is Shabbat and one is not allowed to help people who desecrate the Shabbat, I'll tell you where to go so you don't have to drive more than necessary. So you got to stick it to him a little bit. You got to show him, listen, I don't approve of what you're doing, right? I had the other day somebody else asked me, said, excuse me, where's this shul? It's a different shul, whatever. It's not so far away. And I said to him, oh, it's around the corner. You got to go this way. And the lady's like, but on the GPS doesn't say that. You know? It doesn't say it. It's another way. And the guy tells the girl, no, this guy knows. Don't worry. This guy knows what he's saying. Yeah, trust me, he knows. So let's go. Let's do what he says. So you see that it happens sometimes that people will ask for directions on Shabbat. So if they're driving, these people were walking. But if they're driving, it's a problem to give them directions. 64. Well, let's say I have a cousin he's very far. He's lost, like mamash, in the middle of the ocean, lost. And the only way I could get to him is I gotta have him over for a meal. He's gotta feel Shabbos, he's gotta feel singing, he's gotta feel like hanging with the boys, a little bit of, drinking together. But I know he's Mechalel Shabbat. He's Mechalel Shabbat. Can I invite him to my house and I know he's gonna Mechalel Shabbat?
I did it.
You did it? Okay, no. But someone's asking, Rafal, am I allowed to do this or not? For Kiruv, I want to invite the guy, I know he's going to Mechalel Shabbat to come to my house.
You have to give him an option to stay.
Good. He says, Rafal, I'm not sleeping in your house. I'm going to come in my car. I'm going to leave after the meal. I'm telling you straight up. Don't think like I come to your house, I'm going to keep whole Shabbat. I'm leaving Friday night. I'm Mechalel Shabbat, 100%. 64. One should not directly invite a person who is not religious to come to one's home on Shabbat if you know that person will drive on Shabbat to get there. Instead, one should invite the person for the entire Shabbat, provided for a place to sleep as well. If this is not possible, it's permitted to tell him in a general manner what time one will be eating the meal without directly inviting him. Like the Brit, right? By the Brit, right. We're not inviting you. We're informing you. I'm informing you, I eat osvo at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're there, that's your prerogative. I didn't tell you formally to come. I don't want you to Mechalel Shabbat. If you magically somehow show up, that's not my problem. It's true. But we're not okay. We cannot being Mechalel Shabbat for maybe he will, maybe there's no real permission like that. You're right. If you're able to, have siyata d'shmaya, it could be that he'll choser, but okay, good. The only case where we say maybe and you're allowed to Mechalel Shabbat is only when someone's maybe dying, right? Sakanat nefashot. But even though this guy might also be sakanat nefashot, but it's a different type. It's a spiritual. It's not physical. Okay, one more. In general, melachot that did not cause any physical change in the item does not prohibit the item if the action was done by accident. Okay? Let's say, God forbid, there was candies, right? In the shul, people had a simcha, they brought candies to the shul. But how did they bring the candies to the shul? It was kosher candies, but they brought it in a car. They drove in a car on Shabbat to bring these candies to shul. And then when the domot got up, the hatan got up, they threw the candies. But these candies came to shul how? Through Hilul Shabbat. Are you allowed to eat these candies? So since he did it, the melacha didn't do any physical change in the candy, it was just brought to shul. So therefore, if they did it by accident, they didn't know it was not allowed, then it will be permitted. But if they did know it was on purpose, so you're not allowed to do it. Okay, someone who opened the fridge on Shabbat and he forgot that the light was turning on there. Can you now go and use the fridge and take stuff out? Yes, he may benefit from the food that's in the fridge because the actual melacha did not affect the food. The food was fine. The food was there before. The fridge didn't do anything to the food directly. And so therefore you're allowed to benefit from the food that's in the fridge. What? Oh, can you close it? No, you can't close it. You find a goy, or if the door swivels, you let it close by itself. You can't actually shut it yourself. Okay, good. Finally, are you allowed to rent? Let's say you have an office space. Yeah, who's gonna rent my office space? A guy who's not gonna be shomer Shabbat. He's gonna be working on Shabbat. 72. Or let's say I'm renting my house. Who's renting my house? A guy who's mechalel Shabbat. He's gonna do shish kebab in my house, my rented house there. One may rent a home or a property to a Jew who will be keeping his store open on Shabbat. However, if he's in an area where only Jews live and they're likely to come and buy from the store on Shabbat, one should not rent the store, thus preventing the public from sinning.